Hey folks, welcome to another VR video. Today we're checking out Curatours, which is a new application that allows you to view and take tours of things that don't necessarily exist. And I believe what we're going to be looking at today is a museum of plastic.
Welcome to the Museum of Plastic. I'm
Thank you.
Alice Bell and I'll be your tour guide today. The fact that you and I are here today to learn about the story of plastics is a miracle in itself. The 21st century was one of the most tumultuous in human history. If the 20th century was the story of humans at war with ourselves, then the 21st felt like a war with our home. And yet here we are, on the other side, at peace with our planet at
Oh
last.
yeah, I forgot to
No
say
human creation
that
symbolises the
the
struggle of the last 300 years
20th
more than
century and
plastic.
21st
A
century
material that once
have
helped
gone on.
alleviate
We're now
poverty
in
in
the
the
22nd
environment
century,
would grow to become a
2121.
massive environmental threat in itself, before finally playing a key role in the solution. For decades, warnings about climate change and biodiversity loss were largely ignored. It seemed almost impossible to get people to act.
So we can actually just not listen and just read that plastic had embedded itself deep within the crises. CO2 was out of the Earth's atmosphere. We had devastating losses in the mid 21st century, demanding an urgent shift in behavior from humanity as a whole. But, of course, slow to change, slow to adopt those practices. This is slightly hard to navigate.
This is a hologram of the now extinct emperor penguin and its chick.
Oh no!
There were once millions of these.
Emperor penguins being extinct really, really bothers me. The last penguins of 2033. I love penguins. When I'm in VR chat, I play as a penguin, so it's a pretty big deal to me. Here's a chick trapped in plastic, and this is what helps cause things to go extinct. As you can see, looking at these penguins based on the angle, there's that plastic right there that chick could get cut in and caught in and killed. The best of humanity. The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. And that's by Robert Swan, an explorer.
One of the most impressive human achievements of the last 100 years is our transformation of the oceans back into a vibrant living ecosystem. Despite the loss of life and disasters we have faced, we can
Again,
say that
more
we have come
plastic,
out
more
stronger.
pollution in the
The
water
ocean
here.
revival was a battle fought on many fronts, and here we're going to focus on the story of the cleanup. The seeds were planted in the 1980s when climate activists organised beach cleanups, setting their eyes on capturing the so-called
And we have
dirty
beach
dozen.
cleanups in my city.
By
I live in a
2015,
coastal community.
tens of thousands of people worldwide had volunteered for the unglamorous chore of picking up rubbish from beaches. These operated alongside passion-led crowd-finance projects like the Ocean Cleanup Initiative of the mid-2010s, which used
Nice.
vast netting systems to retrieve huge amounts of ocean-borne plastic. Initiatives like these.
So humans can save humans here. In 2022, the world was ready for a new shift. Lily Z's groundbreaking meme essay, Microplastics versus Micropeople, featured an analogy emphasizing the power of individuals. They said if microplastics are so tiny, yet collectively able to threaten the power of our ancient ocean, then micropeople, tiny individuals who believe that their life means nothing in the grand scheme of things, are also truly powerful. Here's a world three-time scuba pioneer, three-time world champion scuba pioneer. Again, these people are not real, I don't think. They may be in the future, though. This is a 2032 Abuska model suit that cleared Indonesia's most polluted river. In a marathon 12-hour dive, he cleared the ocean of over 2 tons of litter. And then, of course, this is a submarine right here of some form.
Starting in the 2010s, cleanup dives took this a step further, developing into one of the most popular eco-sports of the century, scuba cleanup. Here,
That's cool.
participants competed to pick the largest amounts of ocean litter. These sessions had a huge impact on clearing areas near land, like rivers and beaches. In the 2040s, the use of sea drones offered a step change. Here's the iconic Model O, which swept up 1 ton an
So that's
hour,
a sea
sending it
drone.
up to wind powered recycling ships on the ocean surface.
It's now the stuff of legend. In 2021, 8-year-old Dewey Nyusi, daughter of a poor fisherman, was helping her father one night. Fishing in Maputo, Mozambique at the time meant his nets were full with plastic. And that night there was only one fish, in which they found 42 pieces of plastic. There and then she decided she would devote her life to the sea so that people like her father would one day be able to fish and catch only fish in their nets. Over the course of a 7-decade crusade, rising from humble beginnings to becoming the great marine entrepreneur of the 21st century, she laid the foundations for a whole new human relationship with the ocean in the 22nd century. And let's take a look at Dewey here, pictured at a beach cleanup. A little closer so we can see her a little bit better. And then we've got the
Having
2050s
become
to
the 21st
2070s.
century's icon of ocean cleaning, in 2056, Dewey Nusi extended her work even further into a new global initiative as part of UN COP62. Harnessing the passion of a
This is pretty
grassroots
cool.
community and
So I don't really want to watch the whole story here. You can certainly do that for yourself. Curatours is a free experience that is available for download on Steam VR. While I'm using this with the Rift S, it will work with other headsets. You can certainly use the Quest 2 or Quest device with Link or AirLink. So here we are in the choice in 2030. You cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of a difference that you want to make. And that's from Jane Goodall, who is an actual primatologist and anthropologist. Let's see here. So we go around this structure. And the choice by a cheeky observer here. Working under the moniker Cheeky Observer, Alicia McFadzean is a contemporary artist originally from Australia, now based in South Africa. And so I guess this is some of their art. And the overarching idea of the artwork's composition was to visually present the concept of duality inherent to the choice we face when it comes to plastic waste and sustainability, as individuals and as a community. Two penguins are shown as a mirror of each other. One is caught inside a piece of plastic. When it comes to consumption and the waste management, the byproduct of humans' uninformed choices when it comes to consumption and then waste management, the other penguin striving to meet its fellow is enshrouded in abstract elements reminiscent of the natural environment. She symbolizes harmony and sustainability and the potential for survival and health of the other. So let's go look at these two. So we've got the one trapped in plastic over there and the one that's at one with nature over there. Cool stuff. And again, I encourage checking this out for yourself and actually exploring it. The worst of the pollution from 2028. You wouldn't think you could kill an ocean, would you? But we'll do it one day by Ian Rankin. And this
already in
just
the
appears.
1950s, soon after
Yeah.
plastic production exploded, word was that plastic was being ingested by sea turtles. By the 1960s, researchers had documented.
So this is indeed just underwater trash. Look at all the plastic just floating in the water and the trash bags even dumped in the water as well. Litter kills. That is not a joke. I really like this experience. Now, of course, it's set in the future, a future that we can change, and hopefully we will be able to change. The start of the pollution was as far back as 1968 here. How inappropriate to call this planet Earth when it is clearly ocean. That's by Arthur C. Clarke, famous science fiction author. And there is a beautiful whale.
The secret to the ocean's carbon sink is invisible to the naked eye. phytoplankton are tiny plants at the base of the oceanic food chain who turn CO2 into oxygen with photosynthesis, just like plants on land. They're so small you could fit 1,000 in a millimetre.
These are
Zooplankton
tiny.
are tiny aquatic microorganisms which eat the phytoplankton and whose fecal pellets, poo, sink deep into the bottom of the ocean, storing the CO2 far out of harm's way. These microorganisms were the foundation of the ocean's age-old food chain, feeding
Interesting.
everything from the tiny zooplankton to massive whales. But by the 1960s, a new predator emerged, affecting large and small in the ocean and undermining the entire ecosystem: plastic.
So plastic could starve these things.
Phytoplankton, tiny, mostly single celled organisms that live in the oceans, creating energy for our ocean's ecosystems.
So plastic can starve a magnificent beast like this one. And actually, if we move closer, can't tell if there's already plastic littering things in this scene or not. So we've left the environmental wing here. We've still got the science, industry, and history wings. So if we go to industry,
Welcome to the industrial wing. It's quite a change, isn't it? Here, you'll come face to face with the life cycle of plastic in the late 20th and early 21st century. It's a story of a time when there were no commercial plastics without oil. For a long time,
so again, more here. This is teaching you about oil rigs, different transportation methods like this tanker ship here, refining oil in a refinery, manufacturing plastic, and plastic waste. That's pretty cool.
people were only aware.
And then there's a science wing over there and a history wing over there. So we head for the science wing.
During the good news is that all of this is history. 100 years on, we can look back at it from a safe distance and ask, how did the world get to this place? Moreover, we can also ask, how did it get out? To answer, we have to go back to the basics and add a sprig of science into the mix. So follow me down. Let's go.
We've got some floating plastic pens with pen caps here. Some molecules here. I'm sorry, in the interest of time, I'm kind of skipping through
The
this, but
transition from the disposable fossil fuel economy to a circular renewable one was no mean feat. It was a huge paradigm shift in human society, in human culture, and human economics, and a long time in the making. There were widespread.
look at all these people trying to
It's
stop
impossible to
plastic.
choose just one hero in this story, which is why all around you you can see the faces of over 200 people who had a role to play. These people include environmental campaigners who saw through and challenged the fossil fuel economy, scientists who studied our Earth and raised the alarm, engineers who invented solutions, philanthropists and investors who financed a revolution, economists and thinkers who envisioned the circular economy, singers, actors, artists, and other pop culture figures who raised popular awareness.
Cool. So again, I'm not sure who these folks are, but they're probably all actual activists in the field, or at least they embody who those people would be. And this is sustainable energy. So you've got cornfields, you've got wind power over there. This is probably nuclear power here. This is biofuel. Biofuel here, wind power there. And then the University of Hull, making biodegradable plastics from renewable resources, vegetable oils and sugars, for example. And they're bond to a metal and makes biodegradable plastic as opposed to regular plastic.
When plastic products first hit the mainstream in the mid 20th century, in Radcliffe's majestic, colourful creation, drawing on his signature African geometrical style, a future world was imagined in which technology transformed from harmer to healer.
Look at these
On the
seahorses
mural,
here.
plastics are the culprit, and the seahorse is
And having these virtual sculptures is very cool. And it looks like we can actually kind of teleport back to the main room here. And then we have not gone to history,
from the 19
this being the final wing here. We've got a museum and a mural. Let's go check out the mural.
Take a look at Dirty Nature's iconic mixed media painting, created in 2021.
And you've got plastic here. Lots of litter, lots of trash. And this person trying to clean it all up over here. It's very cool.
This
So
mural
that's the
is an
mural.
early example of work.
And then if we go into the museum, this will wrap things up for us. Giant 3-pin plug. An ice cream bucket. A spinhaler. These objects being this large is crazy. A Jerry bucket. A lunchbox. A hair dryer. Let's move away from the hair dryer. I want to see a little bit more of it. So you can see this is the back of the hair dryer. And then this is the blower here. A tomato-shaped bottle. And of course, the ever-present civilian helmet. Interesting stuff.
By the end of the 20th century, plastics had seeped into every part of human life.
They did. I was there. So go back to the entrance. And there you have it, the Museum of Plastics. And I think this is really, truly a call to action for humanity. You know, it is not the 22nd century. We still have time to save things like the emperor penguin over there. Stop littering. Try to use renewable energy. Try to use recyclables as much as possible. Compostable products, things of that nature. Try to offset your carbon usage. Maybe we can have a better place with those penguins still in existence for our children, grandchildren, and beyond. This was a cool experience. Again, this is Curatours Museum of Plastic. Until next time, get out there and enjoy VR for yourself. Check out this experience. Spend a little bit more time with it. It is free to download, and it is available both on Steam VR and without VR on the platform. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.